This week on At the Movies with Ebert and Roeper, Edward Norton gets angry and you won't like him when he's angry, or maybe you will. He's the Incredible Hulk.
I'm scared, Elliot.
It's okay. Run.
Mark Wahlberg sees dead people in M. Night Shyamalan's The Happening.
Smell it, now take it. That's for you.
Plus, Adam Sandler is a master of the foot-fist way, and you don't mess with the Zohan.
Stop firing!
He's mean, he's green, and he's got a major attitude. And no, I'm not talking about this guy. I'm Richard Roeper.
I'm just green with envy, man. And I'm Michael Phillips of the Chicago Tribune. So, what, every 5 years we're going to get another version of the Incredible Hulk? I never thought I'd say this, but the way things are going, that'd be fine with me. This latest big screen version of the Marvel Comics Lug, the one with the rage management problem, is an exciting, well-paced summer bash. Edward Norton stars as scientist Bruce Banner, who subjects himself to experiments that lead to side effects he cannot control. For example,
there are aspects of my personality that I can't control.
Target is in the overpass.
And when I lose control, it's very dangerous to be around me.
the U.S. general who got Banner into this mess is played by William Hurt. He presents a formidable adversary for the Hulk, a special ops warrior named Blonsky, played by Tim Roth.
He's doing it.
Looks like an ordinary super-fast human, right? Well, Blonsky eventually goes nuts with the gamma rays, too, and turns into the Abomination.
Is that all you've got?
Here's the key to the new film's success. Edward Norton is a fine actor, and he can convincingly play a haunted comic book soul whose soul is epically divided. I admire the blend of computer-generated effects and live action, and while overall it's not quite up to the freshness of Iron Man, in the realm of comic book superheroism on screen, the Incredible Hulk is actually credible, which is nearly as good as incredible, I think. So I say see it.
Well, I don't know if he's credible, but I say see it as well. I enjoyed this film more than I thought I would, Michael. I like this Hulk. He's a better creation than the old Hulk, even with the Tom Cruise hair that he has now. But he's a little more menacing, and there's a lot of elements here. We see kind of a Beauty and the Beast, King Kong-esque romance between the Hulk, Edward Norton's character when he becomes the Hulk, and Liv Tyler. And you're so right. You know, we now get these films with these top quality actors, with these William Hurts and Edward Nortons that elevate the story as well. I think it's really well done. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. You're right about the special effects. Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Amazing to me that only 5 years after we've gotten this disappointing Ang Lee version of Hulk, we have a film that comes along and actually treats the story with a certain amount of seriousness.
From the opening sequence, we're thinking, okay, this is almost got to feel like almost like one of the Bourne films, with the the flashback kind of occurring right over the opening credits, saying here's what happened, and then the opening scenes of Norton's character, of Bruce Banner, working at this bottling plant. That's all done, in a hyper-realistic way, not in some comic book way, which makes us care about these characters when we get into the action stuff.
Right, and I would say it's set, those early scenes are set in Rio for, why? Well, because Rio's an excellent place for rooftop chases. I mean, that's basically, that's about as far as the plausibility goes in that department. But when I say credible, I just mean you have to believe in the comic book mythology.
Yeah, I know, you're absolutely right.
To the degree where you're going to spend a couple hours with it. And I think because of Edward Norton, and because he's a very idiosyncratic and fine actor in all kinds of things, he's bringing kind of a gravity to it.
And like Robert Downey Jr. with Iron Man, he's taking this role as seriously as he would an independent film that's striving for, Oscars. I want to say one thing, though, Michael, about the marketing campaign. Shame on the people who decided to give away one of the film's best secrets in the trailer. That's all I want to say about that, but they give away a huge, fun twist surprise in the trailer. Why do that?
Right. They always give away too much in the
They
trailer.
always do. They always do. Okay, next up is The Promotion. Now, this is one of the more original movies of the year, and it's the rare film that's primarily about the workplace. You know, we often see entire films in which you barely know what the lead character even does for a living. Here, it's all about two guys vying for the same career upgrade. Sean William Scott plays Doug, an earnest semi-go-getter, still hoping for that big break. And the wonderful John C. Reilly is Richard, Doug's competition for the job running a new franchise in a grocery store chain.
Nice location.
Yeah, I'm gonna put in for it, full manager.
Yeah, me too. Hey, give me 5.
Come on! Come on!
What, are you wearing tap shoes?
The always reliable Jenna Fisher plays Doug's wife.
I'm the shoe-in. The leading shoe-in, totally.
Oh, you're the leading shoe-in.
Yeah, totally.
Come here, you sweaty bastard. Sweaty shoe-in.
I'm really sweaty.
I don't care. Come here. Oh, Jesus. You stink.
The Promotion is written and directed by Steve Conrad, whose previous scripts include The Pursuit of Happiness and the underrated Nicolas Cage film, The Weatherman. Conrad has a real gift for smart dialogue that flirts with the absurd yet sounds authentic. Now, I'd rather experience this uneven but mostly successful hybrid of genres than another cookie-cutter effort, so I'm saying see it.
Yeah, I'm saying see it too.
Good for you.
With an asterisk, because in a way, I wish Conrad had pushed it further and not dealt at all with the issues of are we going to like these two guys,
right?
You know, and really sort of play this struggle for this management position at the new supermarket for kind of a really dark edge. And you know,
so you're saying that he should have pushed away all the viewers who might like this
everybody
movie and make these completely unlikable two lead characters.
And Conrad, you know, with The Weatherman, was dealing with these very anxious situations, and in a way, you're dealing with the kind of screenwriter that has a real gift for that sort of thing. You find typically more in a short story or a novel. So I hope he gets a Hollywood career out of it. This is his first film as a director,
right?
And I think he's going to improve as a director, and he's already interesting as a writer.
I agree, and I think he's a good director. There are some neat little touches, and you're right. There is a little bit of a tonal thing where you're like, well, you're wondering if too many hands got in there at the last minute and said, well, let's make this a little more accessible. Let's play up the funny stuff and play down the uncomfortable stuff.
Yeah.
So it feels at times uneven, but I like this film. It's definitely different, and you and I see a lot of movies that do not feel at all different from things we've seen before.
Or focus group to death, or things like that. Yeah. I say, when in doubt, push your luck. You know, as a writer and as a director. But that's my advice.
In life.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay, later in the show, is it a return to greatness or another strikeout for M. Night Shyamalan and his new film, The Happening?
And next, Adam Sandler is a killing machine with a passion for silky smooth hair, and you don't mess with the Zohan.
Zohan, now!
He's Zohan.
Adam Sandler plays an Israeli commando who wants to throw it all away for the life of a hairdresser in the box office hit, You Don't Mess with the Zohan, a movie which may be a mess in terms of technique, but I have to say it's got more going on than Sandler's hit from last year, I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. In Zohan, a similarly hypocritical comedy, he's having his way with Arab stereotypes, but in the end, he's basically for peace, love, and Middle East understanding, plus a few more Arab stereotypes. Here, the anti-terrorism ace reveals his career dreams to his parents.
Stay in the army, play it safe.
Dad, I've done so much for the country. When does it end?
They've been fighting for 2,000 years. It can't be much longer.
Okay, so this comedy is all over the place. There's a lot of slapstick violence, not particularly to my taste. It's a burlesque, it's a cartoon. Half of it is worthless. Then again, half of it isn't. And politically, it's kind of interesting. Any film, I think, that unites an Arab and an Israeli in a battle against a character based on Donald Trump can't be all bad. So even though I was wildly mixed, Richard, I'd have to say rent it, but have a couple of beers first. That's what I say.
I'm just taking a moment here to absorb that you're telling me that you're recommending this film. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Because
why is this a crime against humanity for you?
First of all, saying it's better than I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry is like saying, well, a kick to the crotch is better than a knee to the groin. Yeah. I mean, you're talking about some really horrible films. I don't know which half of this movie you thought was worth seeing, Michael. I think it's a piece of garbage. And it's not that I don't appreciate Adam Sandler. I think he can be very funny. He can also be good in some dramatic roles. But this is the same joke over and over again. Oh, gosh, hummus jokes. Geez, that's clever. Yeah. Oh, sex with old ladies. Let's show the same scene over and over. And then, just in case, once again. These are jokes that fall flat and then just stay there dead, and the camera just fixates on the bad jokes.
No, I tell you
hoping desperately that we'll laugh, and there's just nothing funny here.
To me, it's the most interesting. Even though it's a mess, Richard, I think half of this film, and it's probably the half that's scripted by Judd Apatow, who's one of the screenwriters in this thing, half of it actually gets into this sort of, I love the way it sort of burlesques some of the Arab-Israeli tension. No, I'm telling you.
As they stand around talking about which political candidates they'd like to have sex with, that's like it's tackling serious.
Particularly, yeah. Here's the thing, Richard. I think this is the most explicitly Jewish picture Sandler's made, and that includes 8 Crazy Nights, the Hanukkah film. And I tell you, there's something in about half of the writing of this thing that really gets at kind of a post-9/11 atmosphere. It's already a hit with audiences. I'm totally mixed on it, but I say it's worth a rent. 2 beers.
Michael, I'm all for politically incorrect humor, but there has to be humor in the
you like the
political
humor?
Incorrectness, and I didn't get it here.
I'll take it over Happy Gilmore. I'll take it over Chuck and Larry. I'll take it over a lot of Adam Sandler pictures.
Well, you can take it. You can certainly take it.
And speaking of movies that opened big at the box office last week, both Richard and I really enjoyed Kung Fu Panda. And in a new segment we're calling Take Two, Jack Black had something to say about Richard's review of a film I like better than Richard, Nacho Libre.
Mr. Roeper, Nacho Libre, it still stings. You really hated the film, and, but this does, we are on the road. The healing is now beginning. Now that you have given a glowing review to the Panda, I feel good. I feel like doing this. 3 lawnmower pulls. I rarely go above 2. Thank you.
It's all over the country.
Authorities are now feeling that a terrorist group being responsible is becoming less and less likely.
She says everyone's dead outside.
Something wicked this way comes in The Happening, and when it does, you die. I can see some people, and some critics who are almost like people, absolutely hating the latest and first R-rated film from M. Night Shyamalan. Like Signs and The Village, it almost dares you to roll your eyes or laugh at certain scenes that are supposed to be deadly serious. But you know what? I appreciated this creatively offbeat, daring sci-fi mind trip. The Happening starts on a seemingly peaceful day in Central Park.
The first stage is loss of speech.
Claire? Claire?
The second stage is physical disorientation. The third stage is fatal.
Mark Wahlberg does a nicely understated job as Elliot Moore, a high school science teacher in Philadelphia. Nobody knows if it's terrorism or something more ethereal that's causing people to kill themselves, but fleeing the city seems to be a good plan.
Were we supposed to stop here?
What's going on? You can't just leave us here.
Sir, we lost contact.
With whom?
Everyone.
John Leguizamo plays Elliot's best friend Julian, a fellow teacher who feels guilty because his wife is stranded in a town that may be under attack.
Look, I'm just gonna go get her, and I'm gonna bring her back, and I'm gonna find you guys. I need you to take Jess. She's gonna be a lot safer with you. Don't do this to me. I'm doing my best here not to fall down.
Now, like a lot of Shyamalan's work, The Happening is reminiscent of an extended episode of the classic Twilight Zone series. Once the explanation for The Happening is unveiled, or at least sort of unveiled, it'll probably frustrate some viewers, but I am recommending The Happening for its quietly eerie scenes, some very good performances, and a few unforgettably chilling moments, so I say see it.
Yeah, I can see why some people wouldn't like it, Richard, because it is actually one of the worst films of the year. It's probably as bad a film as this talented writer-director has ever made. I mean, this sits there like The Village did, and it's almost...
I like The Village. That's an underrated film, too.
Good, good. We have a consistently good taste critic here. And to me, Lady in the Water, Shyamalan's last picture, that one had the same kind of crazy story issues as this one does. He is so intent, I think, on creating a mood and sustaining a mood. He forgets if the story's working at all, and I will eat my hat, Richard Roeper, if this thing makes money the first 2 weeks. I do not believe
I think it's a tough sell, and I think for some reason there's a lot of critical hatred for M. Night Shyamalan
hold on.
from a lot of people who are predisposed to not like this guy's work. And I'm telling you, I think if a different director's name was on this film, it would have a better shot because there seems to be such resentment for this guy.
No, it's not. I really liked The Sixth Sense, and God knows it.
So did everybody else.
Yes, yeah, and I like most of the signs. I have no issues with this thing. I just think that this guy has lost track of how to pull people through on a real suspense level. And to me, this is all about establishing dread, and it just lays
Which
there.
is very good at, I think.
Yeah, halfway. And then if it weren't for Betty Buckley showing up as sort of this survivalist,
Isn't that good stuff? See, I like that part.
That's the 10 minutes. That's the 10 minutes that works. And I honestly, and also Mark Wahlberg, you know, a very fine actor in all kinds of different films. He is playing such an incredible ninny, this passive character who's just kind of wandering through the story.
I think he's an average guy. You know, he's a smart high school teacher who is faced with an overwhelming crisis. People are literally dying all around him, and people are turning to him saying, "What do we do?" And he's saying, "I don't know," because I think that's how most people would react to such a huge thing happening.
Well, let me make this clear too. What I like about the intention of this story is that it's not spelling anything out. Shyamalan doesn't want to give you, you know, clear scientific exposition or, you know, solutions to what this mystery might be. And what he's really evoking mostly is Hitchcock's The Birds, because that's the same kind of thing of, you know, is nature in some form turning against the humans? Well, I'll tell you, man, he didn't learn one thing from any other, you know, great object you could take out of The Birds.
I disagree. I think he's learned a lot from Hitchcock. I think he's a very good filmmaker. I know this film does have problems. There, you know, it does drag at times, but I think it's a strong effort, and I hope people do take a chance on it.
Well, the happening is not happening. So
all right.
I can't think of a single reason why Baghead should work at all, but it does. This new micro-budget film by the Duplass brothers gives us 4 LA friends who want to jumpstart their fledgling film careers. So they head to Big Bear, east of LA, with the idea of writing a screenplay in the woods. For a while, the characters spend time scaring each other for fun, drinking too much, and then someone appears outside the cabin with a bag on his or her head. No one knows who it is, and at this point, a nicely observed deadpan comedy gets more and more interesting.
This is a game? Someone just came into my room with a bag over their head and your clothes on. Tell me that was you.
Look, one of you is messing with us. You just better fess up right now.
Catherine, did you go into her room?
No, I didn't. Then somebody saw me naked.
I don't want to inflate Baghead or anything, but for me, the Duplass brothers show us with Baghead how the so-called mumblecore genre should be done, with a sense of humor to go with a sense of everyday reality. It's in very limited release this weekend. It opens wider over the July 4th weekend, and I say see it.
I'm with you, Michael. I like this film quite a bit. I think this guy should have walked into that movie, The Strangers, where they had the guy with the sackcloth over his head. This one's a lot more entertaining. It's very funny, it's smart, and it can be really scary, and it really has some nice performances as well. So, you know, people should look for this one.
I saw it the first time at the Sundance Film Festival, and I didn't know if I was laughing then because I'd just seen 10 movies that were so much lamer and more pretentious than this. But, you know, second time through, it works well as its own kind of comedy. So,
absolutely. All right, coming up next, one of the best shows on TV makes its way to DVD in our video segment. But first, here's a look at what's coming up over the next few weeks.
Missed it by that much.
10 seconds to self-destruct. You are now free to move about the cabin.
6 weeks ago, I was just like you. And then I met her.
This week's video segment is brought to you by Raisinets. Make a deliciously smart choice with Raisinets.
Hey, you know what to do!
You know, PlayStation.
All right, looking at movies new on DVD, I said you can skip Fool's Gold. You were lucky enough never to have experienced it. I said skip Chaos Theory. Michael said you should see it. But I say Be Kind Rewind is a good one with Jack Black. Michael, not so much. Okay, Michael, and my video pick this week is actually season 1 of Californication. It's one of the sexiest and smartest takes on the writer's life I've seen on any size screen in recent years. That is, if the writer in question is a hugely talented and hugely screwed up womanizer played by David Duchovny. He plays the aptly named Hank Moody. This is a randy, hilarious, and sometimes melancholy saga for adults only. It'll be interesting to see where they pick it up in season 2. I know this, there will be enough politically incorrect humor, nudity, and drug use to rattle the teeth of a lot of people.
Well, it'll be interesting to see Duchovny come back to the X-Files series this summer, too, in the second X-Files film. So, Richard, a border-crossing tale we both recommended earlier this year is now out on DVD. It's called Under the Same Moon. Kate Del Castillo plays a Mexican national trying to eke out a living in Los Angeles. She keeps her 9-year-old son, played by Adrian Alonso, back home in the care of his grandmother. But when she dies, the boy embarks on a daring odyssey northward to find his mother. Under the Same Moon gets to where it wants to go by the end, just like the little boy, and the movie stays with you, I think.
It's a really good film. Okay, so Under the Same Moon and Californication will be in stores on Tuesday, and we'll be back with my picks for 3 to see the best 3 movies in theaters right after this.
Okay, recapping the movies on this week's show. The Incredible Hulk, we both say see it. For the promotion, we also say see it. You don't mess with the Zohan. I say rent it. Richard says skip it. The Happening, I say skip it. Richard says see it, and he's going to regret that decision someday. And Baghead, we both say see it.
Okay, now it's time for 3 to see. My picks for 3 of the best films in theaters right now. At number 3, Kung Fu Panda. It's the best animated film of the year so far, with great voice work, an inspirational story, and some lush scenery. At number 2, The Happening. You'll never look at your house plants or your backyard tree the same way again. And at number 1, I do have The Incredible Hulk, with good work from Edward Norton and Liv Tyler, some dark humor, and some cutting-edge effects. I think it's just one notch below Iron Man.
You're all about the greenery this week with The Happening and the Hulk, and you know, you're just...
to see the Hulk is The Happening, and I'd like to see him as a gardener in the sequel.
There you go.
All right, that's it for this week. Until next week, the balcony is closed.
It's Discover America Pancakes at IHOP. Try mouth-watering Maine blueberry, Kansas carrot cake, and California strawberry.
Pass the syrup.
IHOP. Come hungry, leave happy.
From Jennifer, get 2 microfiber recliners for just $2.99. It's the lowest price ever. Both recliners for $2.99. More comfort, more value. Jennifer Convertibles.
What's in here is what's in here. Real peaches, fresh cream, Breyer's all natural, extraordinary taste.
Goodbye storage bags. Hello snack and seal packages. The newest way to keep these Chips Ahoy cookies tasting fresh.